He says, let the work, verse 7, let the work of this house of God alone. Let the governor of the Jews, the one that is working, and the elders of the Jews build this house of God in this place. Okay, the elders of the Jews is like a general foreman, a regular foreman that is over the others that is working up under them. This is what you're talking about, the elders, the one that is over them. Not like the elders in our families and stuff like that right there. Well, it's sort of like that, but you get the idea. Okay, now let's move a little further here. Let us look at verse 8. Verse 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Look what it says. It said, moreover, I make a decree which ye shall do to the elders of the Jews for the building of the house of this house of God, that the king's good, even of the tribute beyond the river, forthwith expense be given unto these men, that they be not hindered. What men? The Jews. The Jews, the ones that is building these walls, the one that is building the temple. I want you to give the money to them. Let them use it the way that they want to do it. Okay, look what it says here. Verse 9, it says, and that which they have need of both young bullocks and rams. Okay, now we're getting ready for the sacrifice, and the priest and whatnot. Let us jump down to verse 10. Okay, it says, that they may offer sacrifice of sweet Savior unto the God of heaven, and pray for the life of the king and of his son. Verse 11 says, also I have made a decree that whosoever shall alter this word, let the timber be pulled down from his house and begin set up. Let him be hanged thereon, and let his house be made a dunghill for this. In other words, let his house be made of shit. You can say horse shit, bullshit, chicken shit, shit. But God said, let his house be made of shit. Now, let's go a little further here. Let's look at verse 12. He said, and God has caused his name to dwell there. Destroy all kings' people that shall put their hand to alter and to destroy this house of God which is at Jerusalem. I, Darius, have made a decree. Let it be done with speed. Okay, let's look at verse 14. Look what it says here. It says, and the elders of the Jews, see that? Build and prosper through the prophesying of Haggai and the prophet and Zechariah son of Adu, and they build and finish it according to the commandments of the God of Israel, and according to the commandments of Cyrus and Darius and Artaxerxes, king of Persia. Now, okay, now Israel, look at this right here now. The building is finished, okay? Not to prove to you what I said is true. Over and over again, I'm going to prove it again. The building is finished. Now, once you is on a construction site and you finish your building, you don't need the plumbers any longer. You don't need the welders. You don't need the mortar mixers. You don't need the bricklayers. You don't need any of those any longer, right? Because the project is finished. Now, just keep in mind, I want you to think about this right here now. Think about this. The project is finished. They say here that the project is, in 15, it says that it is finished. Now, look at verse 16. Look what it says in 16. It says, and the children of Israel, the priests and the Levites. Why didn't it say the Jews? My sister and brother, why didn't it say the Jews if these are the same people? In other words, the Hebrew Israelites, yes, they were more or less like journeymen and master mechanics and stuff like that, but they don't need them any longer. Why? Because the building is finished. Now we're finna go into a moment of dedication of the temple. So we don't need you as far as your skills any longer, because the project is finished. Now look what he says here. He said, and the children of Israel, the priests and the Levites and the rest of the children of the captivity kept the dedication of the house of God. Now see that? It said, and offered at the dedication of this house of God 100 bullocks, 200 rams, and it goes on about the goats and whatnot. Now let's go to verse 18. It says, and they set the priests in their divisions and the Levites in their courses for the service of God, which is at Jerusalem, as it is written in the book of Moses. And the children of the captivity, see that? Not the Jews, kept the Passover upon the 14th day of the first month. For the priests and the Levites were purified together. All of them were pure, and killed the Passover for all the children of the captivity, and for their brethren, the priests, and for themselves. Why didn't say the Jews? My sisters and brothers, can't you see that we're talking about two different things? But yet it's still in the light of this society in the New Testament, it talks about the Jews and the Hebrews are the same in one, and that could be further from the truth. Jews are skilled laborers, and like I say, I'm gonna keep proving it over and over. Now, he says in verse 22, he said, and they kept the feast of the unleavened bread 7 days with joy, for the Lord had made them joyful, and turned the hearts of the kings of Assyria, see that, their enemy, unto them, to strengthen their hands in the work of the house of God, the God of Israel. Now, let us look at something here.
Subscribe if you believe the chosen blacks should only follow the voice of the Most High as commanded, and not Western lies.